Right, it's another Saturday and it's another boat move for Lou, so I'm leaving my boat here in a pretty secluded location. Hopefully it'll still be there when I get back. I'm sure it will be. Yeah, let's go and find Lou and see how she is in King's Marina at Newark-upon-Trent. Right, welcome back to King's Marina in Newark. We're going to go now and try and make it on towards Torksey Lock. It's going to be a long old journey today, but after 2 weeks of being away from the boat, we've got to refamiliarise ourselves with the ignition system. Hold it for about 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Warm the glow plugs up, and then give it some acceleration as well. Woo! That's it. Yes. It's going to be tricky.
I can't remember how I got in actually. I've got to go down now.
Another blast in the horn. Yeah. About 6 miles north of Newark, we came across Cromwell Lock on the River Trent, and this is where it starts to get tidal. Just where that red dot is, just after there, that's when it gets serious. Oh yeah, easy. This is actually the first time I've moored up in months. Lou's been doing all of the mooring so far, but I thought I'd have a little go. After I'd earned my keep, I decided to join Lou as we've both gone to speak to Rob, who's the lock keeper here, and yeah, he's let some boats through earlier on an earlier tide, and we'll just take the later one. It's actually a lovely mooring here, so you've got 2 days on this beautiful stretch of river, and it's all the facilities, toilets, recycling, water points everywhere, and also barbecues as well, so you can just get your barbie out and enjoy it. Brilliant. Right, we're in the lock now and we're just about to go on the tidal section, so we're just going to really concentrate. There's only a couple of boats here going the same way, so it's not like we can follow other people, so we're just going to go for it, keep focused, and most of all, crank it. Cheers, Rob. Oh, and here we are at Torksey Lock, just arriving. There's the boat. Yes! Was there ever any doubt? Sorry. And now the most challenging part of our journey begins. How the hell are we going to get home? There's a bus stop here, but there's not a lot else. So, might have to take a detour through a place I know quite well, Saxilby. There is a pub of the week at Torksey Lock, but we've covered that one before. So let's go shoot over to an old clip of me on my boat in Saxilby. Saxilby in Lincolnshire represents an excellent little stopover. You've got facilities there, shops, train station, and you can moor up here for about 3 days. However, when I arrived in the spring, the whole navigation was in flood, so I couldn't moor up on those bollards there, but I managed to get on the outside of someone else's boat. They weren't too happy about it. Some people are like that. But luckily for this particular owner and myself, a free space opened up on the end, so I grabbed that and waited for the water levels to decrease further before I could move on. It's absolutely beautiful. Nice little village, loads of stuff going on, so I really recommend checking it out. And also this pub. Pub of the week. Now this is a proper locals pub. You have to earn your place here. They don't just give anyone a loyalty card. I mean, they let me hold it for a bit, but that was about it. If you are a local at this pub, I think you're very, very lucky, because not many pubs have this kind of community atmosphere and things happening every night. I mean, while I was there first night, there was a poker night on, and you just don't see that. There was pool table, obviously, darts, all kinds of clubs happening there, even a bulls pit out the back. And what pub would be complete without a proper locals story? This one I was hearing about a chap who drove his tractor along the canal when it was iced up, and it inevitably fell through the ice. Here's a cool bike that you wouldn't want to take anywhere near the water, and here's a lovely cool pint of beer. Nice! Unfortunately, things aren't always nice in these idyllic countryside villages. Bad things can still happen. While I was here, this is about a month ago, while I was here, someone had their boat stolen, literally while I was on my boat. In fact, this little clip coming up, this is when it was in progress, and I just didn't know that they weren't the owners. Hang on. All right. Yeah, they're not waving at me. It's raining, so these guys want to get moving. But if it is raining, don't go too far. And I only found out about that boat being stolen when the owner came back, and he asked me, did I see his boat moored there next to me? And I said, oh, I didn't realise it was his. And he had that heart-sinking moment, and I really felt for him. In the end, we managed to find it. It'd just been taken to Lincoln, and just a couple of lads joyriding, basically. It does happen, so you've got to be careful. And then they just sort of left it all messed up in Lincoln, basically. So there wasn't too much damage done to it, but the owner, he's a young lad, 25-ish. He'd only just had the boat, and yeah, what a thing to happen when you've just taken on your new home. But yeah, that's all resolved now, and if you're watching, matey, I hope you got your home all nice and sorted now anyway. It was getting late and we were both really hungry, so Lou and myself, we went to this fish and chip shop, which is absolutely brilliant. Can't fault it at all. Lovely fish and chips. And Maeve, poor Maeve there, looking on. I really want a sausage. Well, we're just waiting for our train at Saxilby. But before we reflect on today, before we go, what was the moment today that you thought, oh, this is hard, or was it easy? What was it like?
The only thing I thought was hard was navigating on the map to where the various sandbanks were, and obviously paying attention to what side of the river you needed to be on, in terms of cornering and stuff. Because
you didn't see, but while I was trying to make this video, in between those little clips you've just seen, we were looking at the map on my phone, or trying to stick to the outsides when we needed to, trying to miss out the various obstacles along the way.
Yeah.
So on your own, that'd be quite difficult, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah, because you've not got the time to just keep looking at a map or your phone, because obviously while you're doing that, your boat's just drifting off in some random line.
I think the pros, obviously, they've done it so many times.
Yeah.
They're all right with it, but...
And there was a guy following us, who was taking exactly the same line.
He was actually,
Yeah.
he was just copying what we we did have one moment where we sort of almost ran aground.
Yeah, went too close to the left-hand side of the bank.
Yeah, but it wasn't too bad that we ended up running aground and having to use the barge pole or anything like that.
But generally, it was a really nice run. It was nice weather.
Yeah.
And it was really beautiful scenery. But obviously on the river as well, there's not many mooring spots.
Yeah, there's a few, but not too many. So if your engine broke down, for example, then might be a bit of an issue.
I was quite worried as we was coming through the lock onto the tidal section, but it's
doable, isn't it?
Yeah, it's doable. So it's good.
Anyone can do it, but obviously pro tuition. I'm available for any kind of help. Well, luckily for me, my boat hasn't been stolen, and I've been joined by another one. Right, now, so if we just go on board now, we'll see my new inverter. Thank you, Liam Walsh, for helping me with this one. Really appreciate that. And we'll see my batteries. I've just checked them. The plates are showing. They should never be showing. They should be covered with deionized water. Been a proper idiot there. I should have checked them more often, and I haven't. And I've caused some damage, potentially. And in terms of travelling, I've been with my friend Andrew, who some of you remember from the Pedalorian channel. And can't hear a word you're saying. Him and I, we basically worked our way up the Trent, and this coming up, this will be quite interesting to some of you. This is how you might turn into a lock if you're on a tidal waterway. I'm just heading past, that's West Stockwith, so that's the start of the Chesterfield Canal, and that's the next one we're going on to. I think most of you who are actually on the Chesterfield Canal know that I'm on there anyway, but for those of you who don't, what a surprise, eh? I know, it's amazing, isn't it? Anyway, here we are, turning the boat round. Not the usual way, so you think, oh, why don't you just turn straight in? Well, you can't, because the flow of the water is just pushing against the boat. So as I'm turning, I'm actually overshooting the entrance at the same time. So now I'm facing back the way I came from. We're treading the water now. And then we've got to slowly creep up towards the entrance. And because we're fighting the flow of water, there's a lot greater control on our vessel as we approach the lock entrance. I couldn't film any of this actually because the lock keeper was giving us signals and we had to just stay alert. So here's Andrew tying up in the lock, and then here we are on the Chesterfield Canal. If you're in the area, hit me up. Otherwise, keep cranking, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!